Hi friends, Beth and I are here today because we've received a lot of questions about our community home and our foundation, and everyone would like to know how we got our start. So the story begins last March on just a typical Friday, and my neighbor came running across the yard waving me down, and she said, "We're moving, would you like to buy our home?" And so I thought, well, I already have a home, but let me think about this. So anyway, the long story short is that 2 weeks later I closed on the house, and I thought, well, it must need to be some kind of rental property for me, and if I were to be the only one on the planet Earth to receive the opportunity to buy that house, it must be because I could do something productive and value added with the home. So my first thought was to call my cousin Beth and say, would your autistic son possibly want to be a renter in the home? I also have a son who is autistic, and I thought, possibly down the road this could be a place for him too. But so anyway, in asking the question, I didn't really get the answer I was hoping for.
Yes, I had to break the news to her that unfortunately most adults with autism, at least the level of autism that my son has, they're on SSI, which is just supplemental income from the government, and it's not a huge amount. And so finding a place for these individuals to live on their own, where they're paying their own rent, it's really difficult. So I told her from his check that he gets, he would be able to probably put maybe $500 max into the cost, which is not near enough. And so she was a little let down by that. It's not what she was expecting. So I told her that it really wasn't financially feasible.
Right.
And so she had to kind of come up with a new plan. So she did, I think, during the middle of the night.
Well, I did, because we also talked about that in addition to paying for the rent, he would also need 24-hour managed care. And so the cost of that, on top of the rent, not only made it impractical, but
it was just impossible.
Yeah.
There's not enough money.
Yeah. So the next morning, the light bulb went on, and that's when I thought, well, we'll just create a foundation to help subsidize the cost and make it affordable, because I wanted the home to be a home where people who need it could afford it. And so that's when we thought about making it a nonprofit so that people could make tax-deductible donations and help make it possible for these types of people to enjoy the freedom of independence just like you and I.
Right. So we decided on Living Hope Foundation for the name of our nonprofit. And because part of our mission statement involves that, we're offering hope to these individuals. And so that's our foundation. And then the home itself that we opened is Living Hope House. So these two things work together. And so today we, are kind of starting off doing these informative videos so that everybody knows what's going on. And so we're kind of doing, small increments at a time. We're going to let you know everything about the foundation. And so we are a nonprofit, like Stephanie said. So donations are possibly tax deductible. And the foundation provides what percentage?
37.
Provides
37%.
Yeah. So we're always in need of donations, because that's on a monthly basis. We're providing 37% to 3 residents that live in our group home.
And the other important part is what we're providing is in the form of need-based grant supports.
Right.
We're actually writing need-based grant awards every single month.
Every month.
Right. And the awards are based on a need, and the need criteria that we have is basically a 4-pronged test, and if an individual has either a financial, a therapeutic, an advocational, or an educational need, one or more of those 4, then that qualifies them to be eligible for participation in our program. Now, participating in our grant program does not mean they have to live at the home. The home is actually separate, but it's a separate entity that is aligned with our core vision and mission statement, and so these two things work independently but in parallel together.
Right. And so right now, the 3 residents that live there, of course, they meet the qualifications for needing these grants in order to help fund their tuition to live in our group home.
Right.
So they are all three residents are neurologically disordered, high-functioning autistic males.
And in our next videos, we will get into more specific details about the programs that we offer at the home.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Have a great day.